Under the cover of silence, far from the spotlight of military academies, she lived a life that no one expected could change history. Her name was barely whispered, even in the circles of elite operators, but her story began in the shadows of a war-torn land where survival depended on instinct, patience, and precision. She wasn't born into privilege or opportunity. Instead, she was molded by hardship, sharpened by loss, and driven by the burning desire to rise above the chains of fear that bound her people. The first time she held a rifle, it wasn't out of choice but necessity. Her village was caught between two armies, and survival meant learning faster than anyone else. Her eyes, naturally sharp, could pick out a bird at hundreds of meters, and her steady hands could keep still even in the harshest storms. That caught the attention of an old man, once a sniper legend, a ghost from another era of conflict. He saw in her not just desperation but potential. Where others saw only a frightened girl, he saw the makings of a sharpshooter who could rewrite the battlefield. Training began in secret, far from the prying eyes of soldiers and commanders. It wasn't in polished ranges or high-tech simulators. Her classroom was the wilderness. Her textbooks were wind, distance, and silence. The old sniper taught her how to read the terrain as if it were a living map, how to control her breath until her heartbeat became the only sound she could hear, how to merge into shadows until even predators walked past her unaware. He taught her patience, the art of waiting not minutes, not hours, but days for the one perfect shot that could decide the outcome of battles. Each lesson was brutal. She was forced to crawl through mud for hours without moving an inch, to aim through cold rain until her hands were numb, to fire with no hesitation even when her body screamed to stop. Pain became a companion. Precision became her identity. Slowly, she learned to see the world through a sniper's eyes. The small twitch of an enemy's shoulder, the way leaves shifted with a hidden breath, the split-second window where life and death balanced on a trigger. As war escalated, her hidden training transformed into real missions. She was never officially listed, never acknowledged by command, but when units were pinned down by machine gun nests or commanders hunted by enemy spotters, she was the ghost who appeared. Rumors spread across the battlefield about an unseen shooter who never missed. Soldiers spoke of a single bullet that changed entire operations. Some feared her, some worshipped her, but no one truly knew who she was, or who had trained her. The turning point came during an operation when her unit was surrounded in the mountains. Communication was cut, ammunition was low, and the enemy had brought in their own sniper to pick off soldiers one by one. The old man had warned her of this day, the duel between snipers, where patience and precision clashed in silence. She set her scope, studying the ridges, the shadows, the faint glint of glass that betrayed her rival's position. Hours passed. The sun dipped, the air froze, and still, she did not flinch. Then, one heartbeat, one breath, one pull of the trigger. The bullet flew straight, clean, and final. The rival fell. Her unit survived. That was the shot that uncovered the truth. Commanders traced the impossible accuracy, the signature precision, back to her. The existence of the legend who had trained her was no longer rumor but fact. They discovered the old sniper, once forgotten, had passed on his legacy not to another soldier but to a woman who was never supposed to be on the battlefield. She had been his final masterpiece. Her story spread beyond borders, whispered in intelligence reports, discussed in hushed tones among generals. For some, it was an embarrassment, proof that the most dangerous weapon in their war wasn't sanctioned by them. For others, it was inspiration, proof that greatness doesn't come from ranks or uniforms but from determination, skill, and courage. Even after her truth was uncovered, she remained a ghost. She refused interviews, avoided medals, and never stood on podiums. To her, glory was meaningless. She carried the weight of every shot, every life taken, every mission completed. Her only acknowledgement was the quiet pride in knowing she had saved countless others, that her one perfect shot had tipped the balance in wars far bigger than herself. But those who knew the truth remember her not just as a sniper but as a symbol of resilience. The girl who should have been a victim became a weapon forged in silence. Trained in secret by legend. Defined by a single perfect shot. And remembered as the ghost who rewrote the battlefield.